you. Thank you. Great.
Welcome back to the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships, brought to you by Eleiko and SPD. We are live from Viborg, Denmark, and I am here with none other than world champion, multiple world champion, Joe Whiteley, and I'm Gary Williams, and we'll be taking you through the 105s this evening, and this is one heck of a weight class to look out for, and some big names in this platform today.
We have Ian Bell as well, and his world record in the 83s fell last night.
Coached by his father.
Coached by Ian's dad, yeah.
And here's our running order to start with today. So Ricardo Fungaro will kick us off with 265 on the squat. And we'll roll through 14 lifters all in one session today. We've just got a couple of seconds to go and the bar will be loaded. And of course some really big names in this list today. Alexander Rupertz is back competing again. Oliver Dahlqvist, he'll be competing today as well. His second year in the 105s. He spent his, I think, entire junior career in the 93s. Moved up to the 105s last year and loves being able to eat a few extra cakes here and there.
Don't we all?
And Ricardo Fungaro from Brazil, 265. And he is a very familiar face. He was in Stavanger, I think Stavanger last year, was he?
He was.
So no stranger to the world platform.
Just looking down the list, this is his 6th
Yes,
World
Stavanger,
Championship.
Dubai, Halmstad. He's just struggling to find the balance there. He hasn't got a lot of time left to set up. He's going to give it an attempt. We'll try.
I wondered if he was going to abandon them.
Yeah, I think he considered it. He sneaks that one in. Gets down deep into it.
He did well to get that.
Yeah, I think that
squat
might be
there.
okay. And it is. He gets 2 white lights. He did really well to get that back under control, calm his nerves a little bit.
I wondered whether he would just abandon, because you don't want to run out and then fail your opening squat because you're so rushed. But he made
Yeah, look,
nice
and
job of
you
it.
saw him take a quick look at the clock, and I think he considered for a second, maybe not. So Martin Buck Thompson from Denmark, 290. Still a junior. 20 years old, and here mixing it up on the world stage with the Opens. Oh, moves that so well, doesn't he? Now this is the 105, so you'll see some bigger jumps from some of these guys. Yeah, he moves that really fast, doesn't he? So Matt Watson from Great Britain.
Matt's been competing internationally for the last few years. He was in Stavanger last year. Did the Western Euros recently.
And Great Britain with representatives, I think, in every weight class so far.
I don't think it's quite a full team, but nearly.
Depth looks really good.
That was strong.
That is a really nice looking opening squat there. Sinks in really deep, gives the referees nothing to think about.
And that's important. You don't want the referee to be thinking, was that in, was that not in? Put it beyond doubt.
Stefan Hansen from Denmark.
I think this is his first international.
I don't recall seeing him in Stavanger.
And of course, when the World Championship comes to your home nation, it's a really good opportunity for lifters that wouldn't otherwise travel to attend an IPF event.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I was talking to Nicky Lentz earlier today and asking him about the difference in travel after being at the World Games. He said life was so much better for him at this competition.
Looks good.
Yeah, he was a bit shaky at the start there, but once he took that breath and tightened up, he was good.
And look how these weights are shooting up already, and we've barely got into
Yeah, we
the
see
first
big
round.
jumps in these weight classes. Dale McLaren, United States of America. He sports one of the best beards in the IPF.
Masters lifter, I've not seen him lifting in the Open before.
Yeah, 46 years of age. He's looking for 320. Give you an idea of how strong this weight class is. The World Open record is 445.5 kilos.
Wow.
Strong. Was it deep enough?
I'm going to wait for the referees on this one.
It was not. Could be a bit disappointed with that because the weight moved really, really well.
Did. But he is a former Masters World Champion. He's very experienced.
Yeah, he's not going to let that bother him at all. Engwald Kuda, Mongolia, 330. One of the biggest Mongolian teams I've seen at one of these events.
It has been a great competition for representation. For Mongolia, Chinese Taipei have had a big team.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Ecuador had a huge team too.
Oh, that looks really good.
Nice, very nice.
And he gets 2 white lights. And for those of you watching at home and you're new to powerlifting, obviously you have to go below parallel. But on these big guys, it's really hard sometimes to judge that. That's why the referees are the best seat in the house. Takahito Akutsu from Japan. 350.
He struggled on bench last year in Stavanger, didn't manage to get a total that day. But he's got a lot of experience under his belt. He's been competing at the world level for more than 10 years now.
Yeah, he's certainly a familiar face around the World Championships. And he dropped into the Masters category this year.
Oh, well spotted.
A little bit of a shaky walkout, but he steadies up really well.
Gets the start command with 4 seconds to go.
I think he's going to struggle on this one.
That was a tough
Not even sure if he locked properly at the top, but I think it really wasn't an issue with the weight. I think it was really an issue he didn't get in very deep. There was nothing out of those knee sleeves. He never really got down there. Knee wraps, sorry. If you can do that weight in knee sleeves, he's doing well. Tommy Mata, Finland, 360. His first year in the Masters as well. He's certainly no stranger to competition.
We missed him last year in Stavanger. I think we last saw him on the world stage in Dubai. This is just 10 kilos below his current best. Looking shaky there.
He gets down deep, but it's really slow down deep,
yeah.
and it was very deep. Yeah, he's really, really deep. There's no doubt about that, but I think he was almost too deep. And you can see his knee wrap on the left side shifted a little as well. Just didn't generate a lot of power. Sergei Bilyi, Ukraine, a man that really doesn't need an introduction.
He's nominated in first place, which makes him the favourite.
I think he totaled well over 1,000 not that long ago.
Yeah, he was at the Euros, did 10.65 at the Euros.
That was at Euros, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, absolutely spot on the money. Thank you very much, I'll take that.
I think he still has the total record at 10.92.5 in this class.
I think that might be his, yeah. Margus Silbaum, Estonia.
Bars loaded, 375 kilos, Silbaum, Estonia.
And bringing a lot of aggression to the platform early on. And it's something you do have to be careful not to bring too much too early.
He struggled a little bit in Stavanger last year on squat and deadlift. But he's looking in good shape today.
Yeah, that looked pretty good. He gets the 2 white lights. And I'm pretty sure his coaching staff gave a bit of a squeal there, or someone
Yeah,
did.
someone certainly did.
The only thing he's probably going to have to be careful, he just starts to windmill coming up. And stood up in time, but Asger Huel from Norway, 3.75.
Just missed the podium last year in Stavanger. But he was one of the select few that went to the World Games in July.
And he totaled just under 1,000 in World
Yeah,
Games.
980.
Well, that was probably not the prettiest looking squat he's ever done.
No points for style.
And he gets the 3 white lights.
I just heard Gary Silbaum's lift was overturned, so he is
He's
not
gotta
on the board.
Come out and have a second attempt. Oliver Dahlqvist from Sweden, another very experienced lifter. Junior champion, junior world champion several times, I think. He competed in 93s until last year, went up to the 105s. I think he totaled a spot on 1,000 at the World Games this year.
He did. He just missed the podium.
Well, he'll want... Oh, he's made that hard for himself, hasn't he?
He has, and I'm not sure of the depth either. Yeah.
Sorry, that is no lift for Dahlqvist.
But you know what? Oliver's been in this situation plenty of times before, and he knows how to get himself out of it as well.
So it looked to me like he was sinking his body through his legs rather than dropping his hips further.
Ian Bell, 382.5.
Now I wonder how he's feeling about his 83 kilo
He
deadlift
was
world
here
record going.
cheering him on.
That's powerlifting, right? Silver medalist at World Games. He was 3rd in Stavanger last year. Former sub-junior and junior world champion many times over.
Yeah, there's plenty of experience in the family as well.
Still looking for his first open title.
That moved
That's a
fast,
good
didn't
start,
it?
isn't it?
He's certainly on the right path.
Three white lights.
3 white lights. That is absolutely spot on the money. That's what you want.
13 round one, we are loading the belt to 410
And
kilos. For Alexander Rubets, Ukraine.
the next man is the one you want to keep your eye on. Alexander Rubets.
Is loaded. 410 kilos. Alexander
410 kilos to open. And you would think the world record belonged to him, but it doesn't. At 445.5. Belongs to another Ukrainian, I believe.
Dmytro Semenenko. That was set in Pilsen in 2017. Took the silver behind his teammates at the Euros this year.
Oh,
wow,
that moved
how
well.
fast.
And this guy can do everything. He can squat well, he can bench well, and he can deadlift well.
And he can move 410 kilos like it's a bag of shopping. I barely noticed he had anything on his back
But
there.
you can guarantee when he does the grocery shopping, he only makes one trip from the car. And there's the standings after round one. So Rupert's 410, Bell 382.5, and Houle 375 as we get the second round of squats kicked off. We've got 5 lifters there still to put a lift on the board. Ricardo Fongaro from Brazil, 275. So he got his opener. Looked a little shaky at the start, but then found his way. And he looks a lot better. He's set up really well this time. There's no re-rack call.
Didn't look totally comfortable.
He's got the 2 red lights there. I'll have a look at the relay. The coach is going for a wander over to the jury panel.
Well, I would too if he's got 2 different coloured failures. The red card is for depth, the blue card is for either downward movement or soft lockout. I think soft lockout in this
I would say
case.
lockout. It did take a bit to get there. I don't think he ever really locked out that right side. Right now on the platform, Martin Bach Thompson, 302.5 kilos. And you've got to take your hat off to this young man. He's only been competing for a few years, and he is already very well accustomed to this equipment. He's using it really well. Oh my
That
gosh.
was a superb squat. And he's got a couple of years left in the juniors yet.
Rupert's better watch out. This kid's coming for a couple of years, I think.
McLaren and Hansen, get ready.
That was so fast.
Bars loaded, 305 kilos. Matt Watson, Great Britain.
So Matt Watson, the UK, 305.
Well, the British supporters have got home for a moment. It's nice to hear them.
So, Great Britain well represented this week, but they've had some up and down results, I suppose.
Yeah,
It's been a difficult week.
It's a difficult sport, to be fair.
It certainly is, and you know.
Equip lifting isn't the case that you can just put a squat suit on and then squat 100 kilos more than your raw squat. It takes a long time to learn the equipment.
Yeah, it's a time. It really is a time thing, but that looks really good. And he's looking really strong today. It is. It's a sport that you've really got to take your time to learn. It's not just about being strong.
Bars loaded, 320 kilos.
Yeah, that's very true. Competing, there's a lot more to competing, especially at this level, than just moving the weights.
So Dale McLaren, 320 kilos.
He missed on depth last time.
Yeah, look, I think the bar moved really, really well. And I think that opening lift, even though it was red carded, even though it was on depth, I think they gave me confidence to know I can sink this as deep as I want. Again, he's
sure
moving it
was
quickly.
any different, really.
And again, he's just cutting it shy.
And the coach can't go to the jury on a unanimous call. If it's 2-1, you can go and have a chat. And the jury do have a slow motion repeater monitor on their desk, so they get a better view than the referees.
Stefan Hansen from Denmark, 322.5. Got the home crowd advantage, you can certainly hear them. And of course the world record squat going to Denmark last night in the 93.
That was
men's.
popular, wasn't it? Nicky Lentz taking the breaking squat world record twice. I thought the roof was going to come off the hall here. Excuse me, the hall's full of chalk today.
It looks deep enough. Oh, I think he's dipped and he's not going to get up anyway. It's really unfortunate. He had really good momentum there. Let's have a look at the replay.
That's why we have the check spotters here, ladies and gentlemen. Give a round of applause. That is not a lightweight.
He was moving well. I just think it just got a bit too heavy as he came up there.
I think he was just at the limits of his strength, but what a great spotting team. Got him straight back in the rack.
Ingvold Kuda, Mongolia. 340, his opening squat looked great. Saw him out in the warm-up room. Everything was moving really well. All the warm-ups hitting depth. That one might have been a little bit shy, we'll see. The referees are in a better spot than I am. And he gets that on the board.
Side view's much better for...
Takahito Akutsu from Japan. So he missed his opener. So he's retaking 350. Just didn't really get. Was that depth? I think was it? Yeah.
Depth, yeah.
And you know, we saw earlier today in the women's all sorts of problems hitting depth.
I just spotted that the Mongolian lifter Kuda has scratched. He won't be coming out for his third, which is surprised really. It didn't seem that difficult.
No, it's always an interesting choice.
Don't think that was deep enough either.
Yeah, he just didn't really get anything, any speed or any movement there.
I think he lost his back position a little bit on the descent.
Yeah, and when you've got that much weight, any little movement out of the line, the best line, is going to throw you. So Tommy Mata from Finland. Missed the 360, going 365. A little bit of weight to push him down.
Well, he went very, very, very deep, but then couldn't stand it up. So adding weight is an interesting choice.
Yeah, depth wasn't a problem for him. It was too deep. Have they tightened a few things up?
Maybe so.
And thought, we better throw an extra 5 kilos on here.
In fact, is he in different knee wraps? I can't quite remember. Now, that looked way better.
It certainly worked. And he gets 2 white lights and he's on the board. So whatever they did worked. And there was, I didn't see any movement in the knee wraps that time, so. And here's another man that needs to put one on the board, Oliver Dahlqvist from Sweden.
This was depth as well.
Yeah, it looked heavy last time too. I mean,
yeah.
But I will say, quite often, Oliver's lifts always look heavy, even when they're not. looks a bit more stable under the bar this time.
It doesn't look any deeper though.
It didn't look as heavy though. So, but still not deep enough.
He's in trouble now, putting himself under real pressure.
Yeah, and it can be really difficult. I mean, this is his second year in the 105s. I mean, last year he had a few issues with world bench and things like that. You know, getting shirts sorted out, getting a feel for new shirts and things like that. So, Margus Silball, 385. He had his 375 overturned.
Yeah, we saw that it was overturned. We don't always get told why. And we didn't in this case.
He's having a tough time locking out. He gets 2 red lights there. He's got 1 for depth and 1 for possibly lockout. Or
I think it's lockout. It was just a little bit soft at the top there. Knees not
just
really
really
locked.
never locked, did it? So Oscar Huel. And he has wrapped up really tight. You can see how he's walking up to the platform there. 390 kilos.
And if you've never worn knee wraps that tight, it is a real job even getting under the bar.
And he's got a very good style of wrapping there. When you're wrapping really tight, that shorter wrap still allows for a little bit of movement to get through. Ooh, he's just shifted forward. Great job from the spotting team there, and great job from the lifter as well, staying under that bar.
Yeah, he just got out. And I think he did right not to waste energy.
Yep.
He wasn't going to get it without. He just, no, take it off me.
So Sergei Bildy from Ukraine with a massive 390 kilograms. And Ukraine with a really long history of equipped lifting, I think, and a really, really long history of experience.
Certainly, we've already seen a lot of podium finishes for Ukrainian lifters. It was a 1-2 last night in the 93s, and also...
And both of them with world record totals.
That's right, because
Open and Masters, yeah.
One, yeah. And of course, Solovyova took another win as well last night.
And that was so fast. Gets a little bit slow in the middle, but we do have slow motion, so it looks slower than it was. And this bar keeps getting heavier. 400 kilos for Ian Bell now.
I think this is a PB for Ian.
Well, it should be, yes, because 400 was the world record.
He did get this in July. It was 395 in Stavanger last year, but he did get 400 in Birmingham at the World Games.
A lot of fantastic performances in Birmingham.
It was an incredible competition.
He is not going to rush anything here, but his opener moved so well. And so did that.
I'm going to wait for the referees here. Yeah,
Oh,
it just
he gets a
wasn't
bit
quite
short
deep
there.
enough. And again, he sank his body through rather than dropping
Yeah,
his...
just folding at the hips a bit there.
So from the front, that looks like he's sinking further down into depth, but in actual fact, from the side, the hip angle isn't changing.
And it feels like that yourself as well. You feel like you're going deeper, but you're really not. And I've seen the US coach walking over to the jury there, but right now, Alexander Rubitz, 430. Is he lining himself up for a crack at the world record?
I was wondering the same. Let's see how this one moves.
Been a while since he's broken a world record. He must be due. Oh, that's a tough lift. That didn't go the way he wanted it to go.
No, he did really well to bring that all the way up.
Now, the Ukrainian coaching team have been really, really smart with all their calls this week. And even if they were playing the world record, I think they'll change that now.
I guess it depends. If he walks off and says, look, I just made a little mistake there, I can still do it.
He is very convincing. If you've ever spoken to him, he is very convincing. So there's the standings after round two. Rubitz with 430, Billy with 390, and Ian Bell on 382.5. Just missing the 400 on depth there.
Just waiting to see what Rubetz is going to put in for his third. I think you're right. I think the world record might be a little bit out of reach today based on his second.
So Ricardo Fongaro, Brazil, 275. Had a good opener. Second, just didn't really lock properly, didn't get deep enough. That looks good. That looks a lot more convincing. We will see. Oh! Not deep enough again.
But he got his opener, at
Look,
least
he
he's on the board.
is on the board.
And sometimes that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, we've seen that so much this week. Yeah, it's just been
You
brutal.
have so many plans coming in, and then as soon as you start to warm up, you think, oh, just let me get one in.
So Matt Watson, 310.
Big PB for Matt here if he gets it, but he did look great on his second.
He's looking really strong. And that looks strong as well. He is on fire today. And that is how it's done.
3 for 3 in equipped squats is no mean feat.
There should be a special medal for that.
They should.
And this young man, super strong, Martin Buck, on his home turf, 312.5. His first two lifts have just moved like rockets.
Yeah, I think he's, as you say, he's going to be one to watch in the future for sure. We've got another 10, 15 years to come into full strength.
Yeah, and he's 3 years competing, and look, he's already getting so good with this equipment. And he seems to have a really good sense of where he is.
Yeah,
you see he went down in that one and thought, I need to be a bit deeper, drop it a little bit further.
Just dips in there. Like you said, absolutely knows exactly where he is.
320 kilos for Dale McLaren. Come on,
Dale McLaren now got himself behind an 8 ball with 320, missed his first two on depth. Strength is not a problem.
It really isn't. He's moving the weight really well, but his second didn't look any deeper than his first to me.
You know, we've all been in this situation. It's how you get yourself out of it.
That looked better.
Hopefully it was better enough.
Let's see those lights.
No, still too deep. Coach is taking a long walk to the jury panel. I don't know if he's going to have a lot of success.
I can see the jury watching the replay.
I mean, it's hard for us to see from this angle, but
They've overturned it. They've overturned it.
they
It's
have
a good
overturned.
lift.
He's
Dale
got a
is
good
on
lift.
the board.
So it was worth the walk to the jury on that
It
one.
absolutely was. By the time the coach got there, they'd watched the replay. They'd all agreed. When it's a 3-man jury, all 3 members must agree. When it's a 5-man jury, as we have in some circumstances like World Games, the majority vote wins.
So Stefan Hansen now on the platform, 322.5. Got his opener, missed this on his second. He just doesn't look overly comfortable there, but
but
he
that was nice.
just absolutely nailed that. And he gets the lights. He'll be really happy moving into bench with that.
He needs this to stay in the competition, so Japan, you know what to do.
So Takahito Akutsu will take the platform now for Japan. Again, he's got himself behind an 8-ball as well with 350.
He has. He didn't get deep enough with his first. He didn't get deep enough with his second, but he also didn't stand up with it. So fatigue is accumulating quickly here. It takes a lot out of you to fail a big squat.
Yeah, it's a lot less energy with a successful squat.
Coach is looking a bit worried there.
I think that young man was competing yesterday.
He was, and Yusuke Satake is also on the coaching team there by the sidelines. He took the bronze the other day in the 66s. He's gone backwards.
Yeah, he's got himself all out of line there, and unfortunately he will not register a squat, so he will not be able to total. He can still compete in the bench and deadlift and compete for medals in bench and deadlift, but he won't be able to add a total.
They do a great job, the Czech spotting team, to have just saved him from going over backwards.
Yep,
That's a
he
big
was
weight
never
to go
in
over
danger, was
backwards with.
So Tommy Mata from Finland, 377.5. Missed his opener, went down really deep, and then really struggled to get up. So they added some more weight,
And that seemed
and
to
he
work.
absolutely nailed it. So going by that pattern, this should be a good lift. Just couldn't quite generate enough power there.
380 on the mile now. Oliver Dahlqvist, Sweden. He needs this one.
Yeah, he just couldn't really generate any speed.
I'm expecting to hear Sweden. And the bar is loaded.
So we put 380 on the bar now for Oliver Dahlqvist, who has again got himself behind an 8-ball. He had a pretty good comp at World Games, just shy of the podium. Total 1,000 kilos, which had added his previous total, I think, was 965 before that, or somewhere around there.
Huge amount of pressure now. Third squat with nothing on the board.
He's going to have to give that everything. I think he saved himself here. Oh, 2-1.
Not good
I
enough.
would be going to the jury on that one.
And there goes the coach. So jury are watching this replay, and that
I
looks to
don't
the
know.
side. It looked parallel at best.
Let's get behind Silva when he comes out, folks. He needs this one to stay in.
No, the jury have turned the coach away.
He's not getting any love there, but right now, another man who has got himself behind the 8-ball, Marga Silborn from Estonia, needs 385, and he needs this to stay in the competition.
It's been a bit of a mixed bag. He's had one red for depth and a blue for lockouts, so hopefully he can just...
And maybe if they swap sides, maybe this one, he'll get it all worked out.
Yeah, maybe so.
Let's hope so, because he needs this to stay in the competition.
No, unfortunately
And
not.
I think it has just taken its toll on him. So unfortunately, he cannot put up a total. So Asgar Pool from Norway now, 390.
I think he just made a mistake right at the bottom of the squat last time.
Yeah, I mean, the way his opening lift moved, it was a little bit unlikely that the 390 wouldn't go up. And he just seemed to get out of position maybe at the bottom. It only takes such a tiny little thing to be wrong in this sort of lifting, at this sort of weight.
Oh, I thought he'd ground to a hold, but he managed to get that moving again.
Wow. That is one very strong man. Unfortunately, he gets 2 red lights. And as expected, the coach is taking a long walk to the jury. I don't think he's going to get a lot of love. That looks like a dip.
Down there. Jury's shaking their head. There was clear up and down.
So Ian Bell, Virgin Islands, now taking a crack at.
Oh.
It has been overturned.
I was mistaken. Sorry, I saw the jury shaking their heads.
So Huell's lift overturned.
In a good way.
Looks like Bell is just doing the decent thing and giving his.
And looks like Ian Bell's not going to come out, and he's just leaving the number on there.
Well, he's a big deadlifter, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
going to
look,
be conserving
you
energy.
do. You add it up when you come out for your second and it doesn't work. You've got to add up the probability of success getting on a third attempt. If the probability is really, really low, I'm wasting a lot of energy.
I think you're right, because if you look at the projected totals, he is neck and neck with Billy for the
right up there.
podium places.
You want to hold on to something and hope that he hasn't held on to something. So right now then, we will load the bar for Sergey Billy.
So with O'Huell's squat being overturned in a good way, that gave him the squat bronze.
Oh, very nicely done. Billy has the squat silver. You can't lose that and can't improve on it. But he wants to put this on the board. Because if he starts missing anything, Ian Bell will sense the opportunity.
Well, the strength is clearly there.
That is the first time I've seen him really have to work hard for a squat. And he gets that on the board with 2 white lights. And he needed to make sure that one went on because Ian Bell is breathing down his neck.
Followed by a 20-minute break, which itself will be followed by bench press.
So Alexander Rubits. And the Ukrainian coaching staff made that really smart decision. They've only added 7.5 kilos. And if you've watched Alexander lift before, 7.5 kilos is a pretty small jump for this man.
But his second didn't move as well as we expected it to.
They've gone with the smaller. They're looking at the end game. They know he's got to put numbers on the board.
He's been here a few days, so he should have recovered from the travel. The Ukrainian team are all arrived together on Saturday.
Oh, that moves so much better than his second. He just got everything right on that one, didn't he? 3 white lights. He is
absolute masterclass.
He is an absolute professional, isn't he? You know, you watched his second and you thought, oh, you know, I wouldn't put much on. After watching that, It's hard to believe the second was hard.
Check your balance.
So here's our standings after the squat. Of course, Rupert's before 37.5 with the gold. Billy 400 with the silver, and Huel 390 with the bronze. So we're going to take a 20-minute break, and we will be back here with the bench press. Welcome back to the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships here in Viborg, Denmark, brought to you by Alico and SBD. And we are just about to get underway for the bench press in the 105s. The current standings after the squat, 437.5 for Ruperts, and it flew up. Bilye with 400, Huel with 390, Bell 382.5. And of course, we've got three lifters, Silborm, Akutsu, and Thalkvist, that didn't put a squat on the board. It has been tough here this week.
It has. And I have some bad news, unfortunately. Ian Bell didn't come out for his third squat because he's tweaked his lower back. And with 10 minutes to go before we came into bench, he was still on the chiropractor's bed,
so
having some treatment.
It will be very surprising if we were to see him out on the bench.
Well, he hasn't dropped his bench, but if he's managed to get into a shirt and warm up all the way to 257 in the few minutes he's had, then he's done very well indeed.
Yeah, it'll be cutting at 5, but right now, Margus Silborm, 125, opening without a bench shirt. So in equipped bench, you don't have to use the equipment, but it'll be certainly tough to compete competitively without.
Now I wonder if he will actually put a bench shirt on for his second.
Yeah, we do see it occasionally come out open, but you know,
it doesn't often go that well. It's hard to get a bench shirt working just in one go on the platform.
But Ricardo from Garo now looking for 160. Yeah, we do see occasionally some lifters opt to get that one on the bench because one reason for that is it's such a technical lift. It can be really difficult to get a lift on the board, and particularly if you've got a record on the line that you want to solidify. Now, that should be okay, I think.
A little bit scrappy, but no infraction of the rules.
3 white lights.
There's no rule about it being untidy.
There is certainly no tidiness rule. If we introduce a tidiness rule, we're all going to fail. He kept everything tight. So Matt Watson now, 195.
He had a great day on squat.
And Silborn, I just noticed, has actually scratched his next 2 lifts.
Okay.
So whether there's something wrong there. Usually an indication there's a bit of an injury or something. Gets the touch there. And that looks
that
good.
was lovely.
That looks really good, and it is 3 white lights. He'll be happy with that, but I think the British team will be happy with that as well at the moment. Yeah, nice lift. Good leg drive there as well. You can see his body shift back a little bit. So Martin Bak Thompson from Denmark. He looked outstanding on squats.
He was very impressive on squat.
$210. And he looks pretty impressive on bench as well.
Yeah, that was so smooth all the way to the chest and all the way back up again.
This young man has mastered the equipment. Stefan Hansen from Denmark, 220.
Bit of an extended chat about is it on 3? Or is it 1, 2, 3, go?
Well, you certainly don't want to have that confusion after he's handing out 220 kilos. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant on 3. But you don't want to spend too much time giving instructions. He's still moving. It did a
Wow.
drop down. That was
I'm not
quite
sure. It
incredible,
stalled
though.
out. To get that moving again was very impressive.
Unfortunately, he gets 3 red lights, but
Shame.
wow. That strength was absolutely phenomenal. It came to a dead stop. There's a downward movement. So Askar Hugo from Norway.
Took the bronze on squat. Had his third fail overturned by the jury.
To give him the bronze.
Very nice.
Well, sometimes it's worth a walk to the jury. That's what they're there for. If a coach genuinely thinks the lift should have been awarded, that's where he should be going. Well, they've got that shirt super tight, haven't they? But it's worked.
It's a tough lockout, but he got it all the way.
And 3 white lights. You could see how much that shirt was compressing across his chest.
Bell and Akutsu, get ready. Bars loaded, 255 kilos, Tomimata, Finland.
255 on the bar for Tommy Mata. Super strong weight class, this one. Current world record 325 kilos in the 3 lift event. And that was by Mongolia in Stavanger.
It was. Chimanjagal Zegve.
That was
Easy.
super fast. If you blinked, you missed that one.
3 white lights, good lift for Tommy.
That was absolutely fantastic.
US Virgin Islands, Akutsu and McLaren, get ready.
Now, it's Ian Bell out next, but I can't actually see him.
Yeah, I can see
7.5 kilos.
you can see the Mongolian there who will be out after him, or Japanese, sorry, after him. And I can't see Ian Bell anywhere.
No,
Whether he decides to come out on
maybe
a second
he just needs
to
more
warm
time
up.
because he was, he was
Receiving
still
treatment.
getting treatment. So maybe.
Yeah, look, there's a good chance he's opted to, warm up properly. Not going to be enough time to get my first lift in, but I can get a second one.
That was my main concern, really, when I saw him with 10 minutes to go and he was still getting treatment.
So we will have to wait and see. He's certainly not coming out for this one with only 15 seconds left on the clock. But the rule is that clock has to run down before they can load for the next lifter. And the next lifter will be Takehito Akutsu from Japan. And he will be wanting 270 kilograms. And these numbers are starting to climb rapidly now. And I can't recall what he lifted in Dubai. I think it might have actually been 270.
You were close, 265.
What's 5 kilos between friends?
I think it was a few years previously he did 270 in Ham, 2015.
Yeah, look, and that's a really good example how powerlifting just isn't linear. You've lifted 270 the next year, 260, the year after that, maybe 275. It's all about that competition and that time.
You don't always get a perfect day.
Really taking his time setting up. Just got in there. Oh, that's a tough lift. I don't think he can lock that out.
Can't quite get to lock out, unfortunately.
Sorry, no lift.
He really had to fight that shirt on the way down. Just don't think he got the touch position that he really wanted.
Bars loaded, 270 kilos, Dale McLaren, USA.
So Dale McLaren, the US, 270. Just snuck in there by the skin of his
He toyed with
teeth.
disaster, didn't he?
But he did get that squat on the board.
Oh, that was a difficult touch.
Oh, he clipped the rack there. Just drove it straight back into the rack.
I think he was, yeah, it just went a little bit offline and the weight headed backwards, hit the rack, and it's game over.
He had great speed. Alexander Rubitz. With a massive 437.5 kilo squat. So 270 on the bench.
Strong.
Yeah, great work on the bench. So he gets that first one on the board, and that takes so much pressure off for his next two lifts now. And we're not finished there because 285 goes on for Sergey Bilgi. And he is a very well-accomplished bencher as well.
He is, and that's a tight shirt.
It could have been an adventure trying to get that on.
Right arm locks, left arm locks.
The strength in that lockout is phenomenal. I mean, that bar had pretty much stopped moving on the left-hand side.
With these kind of weights, we do add a couple of spotters to the platform. It does obscure our view a little bit on the replay, but we have to keep these lifters safe.
So Oliver Dahlqvist now 295. Unfortunately, didn't register a squat.
But he can still get a medaling bench.
He can, and he does have a really good bench. Was one of his, I guess, specialty lifts, especially when he was a junior. He had a bit of trouble last year in the World Bench Press. But you can see he's really settled into the 105s, yeah. That shirt now. That he had a lot of trouble in Lithuania. Just couldn't get the weights right, couldn't get the shirt to work properly. It was his first year in the 105s, but he has absolutely nailed that now.
Timed his leg drive really well there.
Enkvold Kuda, Mongolia. $300 kilograms. We are 25 kilos away from the world record that was set by one of his teammates who's not here for this competition. Oh, that's a hard touch, isn't it, with 300 kilos? Yeah,
Took
you
a,
could see
yeah, it
it
took a
was
little while
just
to get the
wobbling
start command
around.
because it was skipping about on his chest. And of course, when it is skipping about on your chest, you've got very little chance to make a good press.
So he will sort that out for the next one, I think. And I don't think we'll see them add any more weight. I think they'll stay at 300. So after round one, 295, Dahlqvist on top, 285 for Billy and 270 for Rubitz. And this is what we always talk about, that you might not be able to get a total, but you can still compete for medals, and Dahlqvist is doing just that. So we load to 165, Ricardo from Fongaro for 165. And his second lift looks just as good as his opener.
Yeah, it looked very similar indeed.
Good lift for Fongaro. 202.5 on the round off, and that's Watson. Great Britain. Thompson and Hansen, get ready. Bar loaded.
So Matt Watson now 202.5.
This will be personal best for him.
So moving into personal best territory. I mean, if you can get a personal best on the world platform, it is a great moment. And he gets one by the looks of it. We'll wait for the referees, but it looks good.
That is a great bench.
He is doing really, really well out there. He looks really strong today. He looked great in his squats. Martin Thompson, Denmark, who has just looked phenomenal so far today. Taking his time, getting up on those shoulders. It's a great touch. Stops that bar so well, doesn't he? And look at that.
Then that was another really nice bench press.
Absolutely fantastic.
220 on the bar now for Stefan Hansen, also of Denmark. Bar is loaded. Uhl and Bell, get ready.
Gets that touch absolutely perfect.
It's such an amazing thing for such a young lifter to be so good with the equipment. So 220 for Stefan Hansen. Missed this on his opener.
He got blues. There was some downward movement of the bar.
Let's see if he can rectify this and get this one on the board.
When I say he got blues, I mean he got red lights, but the blue card failure is downward movement.
And I think he's okay with this one.
That was much better.
And he is. 3 white lights and he gets one on the board. It's exactly what he needed.
Next round of the bar is 255 kilos for Asgeir Uhl in Norway. Bell and Bata, get ready. Bar loaded, 255 kilos,
So
Norway.
255 goes on the bar for Asgeir Uhl from Norway. And a good opening lift. It's a nice touch, but struggling to lock out.
just seemed a little bit heavy.
No lift for Hull. 257.5 goes on the bar now for Ian Bell, US Virgin Islands. Didn't come out last time.
He got good speed off the chest there, but just didn't really convert and didn't get a lot of distance for that speed as well. So 257 is on the bar for Ian Bell, but I believe it's highly unlikely that he'll be competing today.
We have been told unofficially that he is injured and he has left to go and get treatment. We don't know that officially, but he's certainly not coming out for this one.
Yeah, but he's done the right thing. He's left his lifts on the board.
But also, if you have tweaked your lower back, then loading it up with hundreds of kilos is probably not the best.
Certainly not the best course of treatment, that's for sure. And of course, this competition made possible by Alico and SBD, who have stood behind the IPF for such a long time and made all these competitions possible, but stood behind athletes as well. So that'll be a no lift for Ian Bell. So we load the 262.5 for Tommy Martha. And his opener looked great.
It did. He struggled a little on squat. He only got his second squat in, but bench certainly seems to be going a little bit better for him.
That was a bit tougher, that one.
It was. The right arm went to lock out relatively easily, but it took a while for the left arm to join
He
the
gets it on the
party.
board, though. That was a tough lift.
McLaren and Lubens, get ready, bar is loaded. 270 kilos, Akutsu, Japan.
He had to work for every gram there. So Takahito Akutsu, 270 kilos.
Technical controller just held him back a little way there. You have to sort out your wrist wraps before you approach the platform.
So the only thing you can touch on the platform is your belt. And the technical controller there at the entryway to make sure that all your equipment is worn correctly before you enter the platform. And this man here had a rough day of it on squats.
He did, and he missed his opening bench 2 on lockout. It's arguable whether he didn't finish the lift or the lockout wasn't good enough, really.
Oh, he looks unstable. He's steadied up a bit now. A better touch. But again, just not really pressing it all the way there.
I'm sorry, that is no lift for Akutsu.
He'll be disappointed. He's got himself behind the 8 ball once again.
275 on the bar now for Dale McLaren, USA. Didn't get 270, has gone up 5. The bar
He gets really good speed off the chest, but it just doesn't seem to follow through.
Get ready.
The Dale McLaren, 275. Missed his opener.
I don't recall the failure, actually.
He's a little bit more aggressive this time. Sometimes it can be difficult. You're trying to manage that emotion and aggression throughout the day, and sometimes you need to bring a bit more. Oh, I don't think he's going to get the touch on this one. I think they might have jacked that shirt a little bit too much for that one.
Yeah, he couldn't overcome the resistance. He got close. I mean, it looks there that like it was touching, but from the front we could see that it wasn't.
So that'll be a no lift. Looks like he's going to bring this one to the last as well.
I think he is. And once you've been fighting that for the touch down at the bottom, you've just got to let it go at some point.
Yeah, if you've got to fight that hard, it's unlikely that you're going to get a really good press out of it. So Alexander Rupert's with 280. Currently ahead on subtotals. Oh, I'm not going to get this one though. That is a rare mistake from this man.
Hard to see quite what went on from this angle. Just windmilled a little bit, didn't he? Right arm gave way.
Yeah, I think one arm started to follow a different path. You don't often see those sorts of errors from that man. Sergei Bilyi, 295. So he's done a 302 earlier this year.
It's a little bit more pronounced than on his first.
Yeah, he really had to put a lot of work into that lockout. He gets it there and he gets it on the board.
302.5 on the bar now. Ekbold, Kuda, Mongolia, Dahlqvist and Fongaro to follow. Didn't get 300, gone up 2.5. The bar is loaded at 302.5 kilos for Kuda, Mongolia.
So Ekbold Kuda from Mongolia. So he missed the 300. He just couldn't put it all together. I didn't think they'd add any more weight, but they put another couple of kilos on there.
I think at the point where you've got 300 kilos on the bar, 2.5
2.5,
isn't going to make a lot
probably
of
not even
difference,
going to notice it. But it might be just enough.
Oh, unfortunately.
He looked awkward on the touch. And then somehow he managed to press and it just got away from him again. So he's put himself in an awkward position. And he's starting to lift his hips a lot there as well. So Oliver Dahlqvist now 302.5. So he lifted 300 at the World Games. And his 295 looked good. And unfortunately, he just clipped the rack there. He's pushed back a little bit too far.
I think he was just heading in the wrong direction. I think if the rack hadn't been there, that would have gone over the top.
Yeah, it would have kept going. Yeah, it really went back there. And you could see he lifted his hips there, and that really forced everything back in that wrong direction. He'll correct that on his third attempt. He has a bench on the board already, and his opening lift has put him in the silver medal position for bench, I think, yes. There's the standings with 295 for Bilyi, Dahlqvist in silver with 295 as well, and the Ruperts with 270. So Dahlqvist is looking good at taking home a medal in the bench.
And even if you're not in the running for a medal, I think it's always worth sticking around, even if you don't get squatted.
Every bit of experience matters, doesn't it? And Ricardo Fongaro here, getting some extra experience out there. 170 and gets 3 from 3 on bench. And I still think that should have his own special medal. So can Matt Watson come out and get 3 from 3 for bench as well?
I wouldn't bet against this. His second was great.
I think
Yes,
he's
there
done
he
it.
went. Had a moment of worry
I
there.
think he has. He's done it. 3 from 3 on bench. Absolutely
6 for
fantastic.
6 as well. He got all his squats in.
He is on fire today. And he is going to go into the deadlift session with a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum. Right now, this young man, Martin Bach Thompson, Denmark, 222.5. His bench press has looked absolutely superb.
Everything he's done today has looked superb.
Exactly the same as the other two.
Very impressive young man.
He gets a great touch, exactly the same spot every time. He is really dialed in that equipment.
Doesn't let the shirt flatten him out at all. Keeps a nice high chest.
Stefan Hansen, 225. Missed his opening lift at 220, but rectified that on the second.
It was just a little bit of downward movement. It's quite common with the quick bench.
That looks good. That looks like it should be. It is. 3 white lights.
255 on the bar now for Asgeir Earl. Norway, second attempt at this way. The bar is loaded. Bell and Nakutsu, get ready.
So 255. Oskar Hjul from Norway on the platform now.
Didn't quite manage this last time.
Yeah, so they've opted to keep the same weight. Decided that let's just get this one right and try and get it on the board. He's having to really work that touch. And
No, it's just not there.
just couldn't really get the acceleration, could he?
257.5 on the bar now for
It
Ian
just
Bell, US
didn't
Virgin
look
Islands.
like it wanted to accelerate.
We know he's not here, but he has not told us he's scratched, so we must run the clock. The bar is loaded at 257.5 kilos.
Yeah, that's
for Ian
not-
Bell, US Virgin Islands.
Not going to make that happen.
Just a little bit too heavy today.
So we load the bar at 257.5 for Ian Bell, but he is not going to be coming out, obviously.
That's a great shot of those Eleiko plates. Eleiko and SPD sponsor the IPF and all the World Championships as well. Eleiko provide all the equipment that's on the platform right now, the best competition bar in the world, and that fantastic combo rack. That is the new design. It's not so new now, is it? It was
Well, I
introduced
suppose it's a
in
couple of years old, a few
2019,
years old
yeah.
now. But, you know, if you get the opportunity to train with Eleiko equipment, take it. And one of the things, really important things, is that Eleiko plates are calibrated. When you're training in the gym on gym plates, a 20 kilo plate could be 19.75, could be 20.1.
20.5, yeah.
You know, so you're training in the gym and you lifted 200, maybe you actually only lifted 197.9.
But we also see people who don't have access to the bench of the correct competition standard. You often see them lift their butt because their own gym bench is much higher.
This is the equipment you're going to be competing on if you can. I mean, obviously not everyone can, but if you can get access, it's a definite advantage. And this man here really wants to put a bench on. He had a rough time on squats. Boy, wouldn't he love to put a bench on here.
Well, each time he's pressing the weight, but just can't quite lock it out.
And this one lift will be enough to temporarily put him into the bronze medal position for bench.
So absolutely nothing or a medal.
It's all or nothing. Takahito Akutsu needs this lift. Oh, he hasn't been able to lock it again.
That's a real shame.
Well caught, loaders. No lift, I'm afraid. No lift for
Attempt selection is just so important, isn't it?
With equipped bench, it's not so simple as just to put an easy one out there. You need to pick a weight that will go all the way to the chest and you're strong enough to press out. Sometimes that's quite a narrow window.
It is often a very narrow window. And the hard thing here is you can go up, but you can't go down. So once you put it in there, but Tommy Martin now, who has been having no problems with his bench, looking for 272.5 for his third. Oh, just couldn't quite lock that out.
He was so close.
He was half an inch from locking that, but just couldn't quite get there, but he's done a fantastic job. So Dale McLaren, who decided to take everything to the edge of the seat in squats, has decided to take everything to the edge of our seats in bench and needs this one at 275.
This is, as you say, all about living on the edge.
And he's got a bit more fire in his belly for this one. He knows how important it is.
I've just looked to see what his PB was. It's 267.5, so he opened on a weight that he's never pressed in competition before. But as we said, it may be that that was the lightest weight he could get to his chest.
Oh, I think his hips have lifted way up there.
Yeah, it does look to be.
I think he's going to be disappointed. Oh, he gets the two white lights and he gets it on the board in the last minute. On the last lift again.
280 on the bar now for Alexander Rubets. Ukraine bar is loaded for Rubets. Billy, Kuda and Dahlquist, get ready.
So he waits to the last lift once again. And Alexander Rubets, 280. He's currently ranked number 4, and you can see that in the graphic on your screen there. The little silver bar at the top will tell you where they are ranked in this discipline and what this lift will take them to. And in this case, will take him to the bronze. So much better than his last one. He's clipped the rack. I don't think it impacted at all. It hasn't. He's got the 3 white lights. You can make contact with the rack providing it doesn't provide support for the lift.
Yeah, it usually throws you off. It usually causes the bar to dip or spin, but in that case it didn't assist him.
In this case it didn't bother him whatsoever. There's a rack there. I don't care. So Sergei Bilyi now, 302.5. He's been looking really good. And he has, at the moment, the number 1 bench press.
He took the silver in squat. So he's closed the gap a little bit to Rubets now.
Yeah, that missed lift has made a big difference. You might just see Bilyi with an opportunity to challenge his teammate. But unfortunately, he's not going to close that gap anymore with this lift.
05 on the bar now. Old Kuda, Mongolia. Will be followed by Dahlquist, and then there will be a 20-minute break before deadlifts.
Another man here that needs a lift. Ingbo Kula from Mongolia has opted for 305. They've gone up again. Without this lift, he's not going to register that total. He needs to get this on the board.
2.5 is more psychological than anything?
Yeah, it could well be.
The coach saying, there you go, I've given you a bit more weight. You'll be fine now.
And, you know, like you said, at this sort of weight, it's not hugely noticeable in your hands. Yeah, still struggling to get that touch. Yeah, unfortunately, that was never looking promising, the way that bar was shifting laterally and in every direction.
That's why it did look like it'd come down to his chest, but he won't get the press command until it stops skipping about, and it did not stop skipping about.
And this man here got his opener. He currently has the silver medal in bench. He wants the gold medal in bench. So 307.5 will take him to the gold medal. Right now, Billy is in the gold medal position on bench. That was a much better touch that time. I don't think he can lock it though.
Right arm.
Not quite. He will have to settle for the silver. Just couldn't extend that right arm, could he?
That's a real shame.
So after our bench press then, Billy will take the gold medal, and we'll see our standings come up on the board. So Billy will take the gold in the bench press with 295, Dalkovist with 295 as well, with the silver on body weight, and Rubitz will take the bronze medal home. And he's just sort of allowed that gap to close. The current subtotals at the moment, Rubitz 717.5, Billy with 695, and Huel with 637. And of course, we've got the deadlifts to come. We'll take a 20-minute break, and let's see if these guys can solidify their totals and let the battle begin. Welcome back to the 2022 IPF World Open Equipped Powerlifting Championships in Viborg, Denmark. Brought to you by none other than Alico and SBD. And we are here about to get the deadlift party started. We'll just look at a quick look at the subtotals. Rupert's currently on 717.5, Billy on 695, Huel on 637.5. Ian Bell has withdrawn from the competition now. He's made the smart decision. He's not going to risk anything.
Unfortunately, he tweaked his lower back on squat.
Yeah, look, and it's a good decision. But the other interesting thing is we've had a few changes before the openers here, and the Rupert's has dropped his opening deadlift all the way down to 125. We have no idea if something has happened.
Well, we presume something has happened.
I'm just looking at him in the waiting area there, and he looks like he's just trying to stretch that back out a little bit. So I wonder if he's got some tightness in his back. But we're about to find out.
He has yesterday's world champion, Musienko, at his side.
So 125 in the bar for Alexander Rupert's.
Now, we really expected him to be taking the overall. Oh, look,
he is very tender.
Himself.
And you can see he's being very, very cautious, trying to get down to that bar. He's putting this one on, and I would say register a total. And then I think he probably might leave it there. We will see.
He certainly moved very easily, but I think he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and you can see he's very tender walking off. Although that looks like it loosened him up a little bit.
That's a real shame. He's going to be devastated.
So Matt Watson now will take the platform at 200 kilos. He is having a fantastic day.
He's having, I mean, let's let him get a deadlift in before we jinx him, but he's currently 6 for 6. There's only 2 lifters that are 6 for 6. One of them is Matt Watson of the UK, and the other one is the young Dane, Thompson. And I make that 7 for 7.
He puts one on the board, solidifies his total, and having a great day. A little bit of hesitation in the lockout there. Ricardo Fongara looking for 230. Now, interestingly, Rupert's has put in 225 for a second attempt.
Well, if there's one thing we know about the Ukrainians, they are tough.
And Fongaro making short work of that.
3 white lights and a good lead for Fongaro. 245 now. Martin Thompson, Denmark, Hansen and Akutsu. Get ready.
And speaking of the young man from Denmark, Martin Bak Thompson, 245. His squat and bench looked absolutely outstanding.
Every single one of them, technically proficient, lifting within himself. He's not, there's no form breakdown on the top weight.
And spot on the money with his deadlift as well. Looks great. 3 white lights. And there are so many young junior and sub-junior athletes now, and coaches are really drilling technique. And it's carrying through into their junior and open years. So Stefan Hansen, 260. And so far, everything looking good. I would like to see him a little bit more convincing on the lockout and pop those shoulders back a little bit further. You don't want to give the referees a reason to think about it. Takahito Akutsu from Japan, unfortunately, did not register a squat or a bench.
He has not got a lift in yet, so let's hope the deadlift goes better for him.
deadlift being probably the least technical. We don't have to wait for the referee to give us a start command. And you do have to wait for the referee to give the down command. So
And he's got one on the
puts
board.
a lift on the board, and I'm pretty sure I just saw him breathe a huge sigh of relief. And Dale McLaren for the US has run this competition by the seat of his pants, hasn't he?
He really has. You think he'll tease us with this one as well?
I don't want him to wait to the last one for this. And he is a conventional lifter.
The deadlift suit is so hard to get down to the bar. No, he's got
Actually,
his
smile on
first
his
one
face.
on.
He got the first one on the board. He's happy with that.
McLaren, 285 on the bar now. Oliver Dahlqvist, Sweden. Marta and Billy, get ready.
He's super happy with that.
Followed in, 285 kilos, Dahlqvist, Sweden.
So Oliver Dahlqvist from Sweden unfortunately didn't register squat, but did pick up a medal in the bench.
He's not having his best competition here today. He's 1 for 6 right now.
And you look at him now in the 105s, he's really filled into that 105 category compared to the 93s when he was.
Get ready, bar is loaded, 290 kilos, Marta, Finland.
And if I remember rightly, I think Oliver won an Open World Championship when he was still a junior. Or he may have podium finished. It's been quite a long time.
That was short work of his opener there.
And Bowie now, 290.
Well, this has really opened the door for Billy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Rubitz is going to be able to do enough to keep him out. And Sergey is certainly going to take the opportunity.
So that puts Hurl is chasing for second now, but if Rubetz does come out for 225, he'll only be a couple of kilos behind.
So Billy now 290 kilograms. Did he fumble at the top there? No, he didn't. He got the down command. 3 white lights. And we've got 2 more lifts to come, and then we can start looking at totals and looking how people are going to shuffle through. So Oscar Huel now from Norway, 310, an important lift for him. Wants to put this one up, solidify his total, and then he can look at chasing down the Ukrainian team.
Easy.
Yeah, very nicely done. Lots of room to move, which is what he wants to have.
3 white lights, good lift for Hull. 3:15 on the bar now, Silvao, Estonia. Last lift in round 1, Watson and Rubetz to follow.
And Margus Silbaum from Estonia, 315 goes on the bar.
315 kilos, Silvao, Estonia.
Well away from his best lift. This guy is a big deadlifter.
Not sure if he's dealing with some kind of injury. He just took a token bench.
Yeah, we expected him to come back out with a shirt, but 3 whites. So we're at the end of round 1 now, and this is when the tactics get involved and you start looking at what you can achieve. So Silverbaum at the moment at the top with 315, Huel with 310, and Billy with 290. And of course, Rupert's a little bit down the way on the deadlift. But if we look at the totals, Billy currently 985, Huel 947, Marta 917, and Rupert's is back at 842 with a bigger deadlift to come.
But it's significant to me that he's in 5th place, only having taken a token deadlift.
Yeah, so his total with just the 2 lifts was so big that at least the 125 was able to keep him up there. And that does say a lot about his skill. Matt Watson, Great Britain, 217 and a half.
No, that's tough for a second.
Gets it on the board. I don't know if I'd be putting a huge amount on for the third.
I think maybe 5 more would be the limit.
Yeah, look, he's in a position where he can go 9 from 9 at a world championship in equipped, which is rare in itself. So here we go, Alexander Rupert's. He looked really tender on the 125. He looks a lot more relaxed walking up for this one. So this will temporarily move him back up into the bronze medal position overall. And you can see he is such a great lifter, even carrying some sort of, we're not really sure what.
I'm not sure what it is,
he
but
still
he's
made that look
suffering.
easy.
Yeah,
I think it looked harder putting it down.
definitely.
Yeah, there's certainly something going on.
And you wouldn't usually see a lifter put their chalky hands on their talky legs either.
Ricardo Fungaro, Brazil, 245. Looks great. Looks fantastic. And then Martin Thompson from Denmark, who has had an absolutely stellar performance.
So impressed by his mastery of the equipment and technique.
In front of his home crowd. Absolutely spot on the money.
Looks exactly the same as his opener.
3 white lights, good lift. Thompson, 272.5 of the bar now. Stefan Hansen, Denmark.
He has such a big future in this sport. So Stefan Hansen from Denmark as well, 272.5.
Oh my word, I've just seen that Rupert's has put in 325 for his third.
Good lift, 285 on the bar now.
Well, you know, he put in the 125, tested how it felt, put in the 225, tested how it felt. It appears that when he's pulling, it's not giving any problems.
I think it seems to be setting up, getting down to the bar and returning the bar to the platform.
Takahito Okutsu. Yeah, Rupert's has decided he is not going to make it easy for his teammate. He's Billy wants to win this, he's going to have to work for it.
Of course, with deadlifts, with the third round of deadlifts, you do get the opportunity to change your attempt. So you may not actually come out for that
Yeah,
weight.
so there's no telling. It might be a little bit of a placeholder to see what he needs to do.
Oh, I'm not sure about the lockout there.
Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced.
Three white lights.
Gets it on the
The
board.
referees were though, and 3 white lights.
As we,
Can't take that away.
said, we don't want people to allow the refs lots of decision making. Convince them.
292.5 kilos. Dale McLaren, USA.
And Dale McLaren, who has gotten off to a far better start in his deadlift than he has in his squat or his bench. And he's looking excited now. You can see him bring that extra fire to the platform. Yeah, it looks good.
3 white lights. Good lift for McLaren.
He's feeling really good right now.
Alves, Sweden. Marta and Billy, get ready. Bars loaded. 295 kilos.
Oliver Dahlqvist from Sweden, looking again to try and temporarily get up into that bronze medal position in the deadlift. Can't register a total, unfortunately. Had a really rough day at the office this evening.
That was a nice pull.
3 white lights. Good lift for
Yeah,
Dahlqvist.
very solid deadlift.
295 now. Tommy Marta, Finland. Billy
Getting out there,
Gold,
doing the
get
work
ready.
he's got to do.
Loaded for Marta at 295.
So Tommy Martha from Finland now 295. Making them look easy.
3 white lights. Good lift. For Marta, 305 on the bar now. Sergey Bilyi, Ukraine. Hull and Silva, get ready. Last 3 lifts in round 2.
Sergey Bilyi next. 305. Now this will take his total to a very round number, 1,000 kilos on the dot.
Very
Bars
pleasing.
loaded. 305 kilos. Bilyi, Ukraine.
He's going to be looking over his shoulder to Rubets.
Yeah, Rubits is not going to make it easy for him.
Tiny bit lopsided as it went up.
Yeah, it didn't seem
Bench
to
was as well
cause
though, wasn't it?
didn't seem to cause any major problems for him though.
Norway, Silva and Watson, get ready.
So Oscar Huel,
Bars loaded. 325 kilos.
325.
Norway.
This will give him 962. And this will pull him up to the temporarily for the gold medal position in the deadlift.
Easy.
Yeah, that looks great.
3 white lights. Good lift for Hull.
He's got a little bit of room to move yet. He's saved a little bit for the end by the look of it.
Silva, Estonia, Watson and Fogaro, get ready. Bar is loaded. 327.5 kilos for Silva, Estonia.
So Margus Silbaum from Estonia, 327.5. So put him in the gold medal position for the deadlift. And overall, he can't rank overall because he didn't put a squat on.
Hurl's asked for 365 for his third. I think that's a placeholder.
That would certainly be a very hefty jump. So 3 light lights, he gets a 327.5 on the board. And
I was just thinking back to Stavanger though. Hurl did something similar last year, didn't he? It didn't quite get him on the podium, but he took a big jump and got himself up to 4th.
so he could be doing the same thing again. Right now, Silborn and the gold for deadlift, Huel in the silver and Bilye in the bronze for deadlift. And in the overall totals at the moment, Bilye sitting on 1,000 kilos in the gold medal position, Huel 962 in the silver, and Rubitz 942.5 in the bronze. Not even anywhere near his best lifts, and he's sitting in the bronze medal position.
Quite clearly injured and in a lot of pain, and as you say, still 3rd.
Can he manage something out of the magic box to take back the gold medal? We're about to find out. Matt Watson, 227.5 kilograms.
Can he make this a perfect day? Oh, it's a tough lockout.
It's still moving.
I think
he's hitched it. Yeah, it looks like he has. Unfortunately, so close.
There was some supporting on the thighs.
He has had a great day though, and if you watch it in the replay, you can see he's really leaning back, starts to lean back into it, and tries to sort of hike it up his hips a bit there.
Nevertheless, he's had a fantastic day.
8 from 9 lifts in equipped lifting is outstanding. Ricardo Fongaro from Brazil, 257.5. Has a bit of a look at the audience. Thank you very much. And he's super happy with that. So Martin Buck Thompson now 270. This will be a personal best for him. And he has been outstanding. I think did he miss his last squat?
Nope.
So
he
he's
is
got
8 for 8. He has
absolutely
not done a foot wrong so far. And that slowed right down, but the execution is perfect, and he has
What
had
an
a perfect
incredible day. World Championship event. You're still a junior. You've gone 9 from 9. You just took these guys to school.
805 kilo total and 7th place, 20 years old.
Unbelievable. So Stefan Hansen from Denmark now, 280. He is ranked number 6.
Loaded, 280 kilos, Hansen, Denmark.
He is 6th strongest 105 in the world. And it looks like it should be a good lift.
Yeah, decent third.
Left-hand referee, your vote, please.
Yeah, I think they picked that number really well.
3 white lights and a good lift. Hansen, 300 on the bar. Dale McLaren, USA. Dahlqvist and Akutsu, get ready.
So Dale McLaren, who has managed to get his 3rd lift in squat, his 3rd lift in bench, has now got 2 lifts in deadlift
Having a bit of a better day on deadlift.
and looking good. He looks like he's having an absolute ball.
Well, I should think so. He's a Masters lifter, holding his own in the Open, and he's about to match his own PB. Or at least attempt to.
And he will be ranked 5th in the world. That's not a bad token to take over with you. He gets it to the top,
That
gives
was
the judges
nice
a look,
deadlift.
and he's got it on the board.
302.5 on the bar now. Oliver Dahlqvist, Sweden.
And after all that, he's still got the best beard in the business.
Loading, 302.5 kilos.
Oliver
Sweden.
Dahlqvist now. 302.5. Not going to be enough to get him into the medals in the deadlift. But enough to take home a competition personal best. Not today.
That's
He
a
looks a
shame.
bit tender.
Just look too little heavy or maybe grip was an issue for Dahlqvist.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit tender, a little bit worn out.
I've just noticed that Ribet has dropped to 305. That would be enough to...
So he still has 1 change in his pocket.
Yeah, he does.
So at the moment, that will be 2.5 kilos behind Billy.
Excuse me, Gary, sorry, I'm looking up at the board and he's actually used 2 changes already.
Oh, he has used 2 already.
Yeah.
So Takahito Okutsu now 305.
Yeah, he originally dropped it further down,
Yeah.
but he's put 305 in. He's got to take a judgment of what Billy can do.
Well, yeah, I mean, Billy's put 330 in there, which is an enormous jump from 305. So that could well be a placeholder as well.
And I think he's going to wait to see if Rubets gets his third.
But right now, 305 for Takahito Okutsu. Not today. So as we were talking about changes there, you have 2 changes for you're allowed 2 changes for your last deadlift. So we'll often see people put in a placeholder so they get to go last or they get to go at a certain time and look and see what someone else lifts so they can pull for the win. 305.
Now this is for the win. This is for the World Championship title.
Yeah, this
a
will
man
put
who's
him up
clearly
into
injured.
gold medal contention at the moment.
But this is a big ask. He's clearly in a lot of pain.
He got himself down there a bit faster
He
that time.
did actually, didn't he? My word, has he been having us on all this time?
Outstanding.
Oh, I don't think he has.
He is absolutely amazing. So he is currently, although temporarily, he's currently in the gold medal position.
Absolutely incredible heart and determination. This is what we expect from the Ukrainian team.
And you can see Billy has now dropped his to 327.5.
Sure, there's no point in showboating.
Yep.
This is just about doing whatever it takes to
Billy
win.
is lighter than Rubits, so all he has to do is match him. But right now, Tommy Mata, Finland, 307.5. Oh, he just can't get to
dear.
the lockout.
That was a couple of inches short. That's a real shame.
And you know, if you've not lifted a maximum deadlift before, it gets to a point and it just stops.
And it's the third deadlift as well. Fatigue has been building up over the whole competition, and you go out thinking, yeah, I've got this, but you just do not have any energy left.
So Sergey Bilyi now 327.5. This is to get back up into the gold medal position. If he pulls this, he goes to gold.
He's done a lot more in the past. I think he's easily capable of this.
Very much so.
Standing in the entryway, which is lit up in Ukrainian colours.
So this will put him to 1,022.5 kilos. Exactly the same as Rupert's total, but he is a fraction lighter. It is not easy getting down to the bar in a deadlift suit and a belt. I think he has done the job. He has 3 white lights. He gets the gold medal position. And we do have an attempt change going in, so he'll just dropped his down to 332.5.
So we have a Ukraine 1-2.
He's not in the running for a total.
And 330 goes on the bar for Silverborn. And this will move him into the deadlift gold medal. He has the silver in the deadlift. And this will put him in gold with 1 lift to go. Oh, he had plenty left in the bag there, didn't he?
Yeah, that moved so quickly. I was wondering about lockout, and he did get one
Just
red
one
light.
there. Yeah, a little bit soft on one side there. So Oscar Hjul from Norway now, 332.5 to take back the deadlift gold medal. He will go home with a bronze medal overall. But Billy will take the gold overall, and the Ruperts will take the silver.
Bar is loaded. 332.5 kilos as Norway pulling for deadlift gold. Come on, Norway, you can make more noise than that.
This is his best result ever, actually making it onto the podium. His best result now was, he was 4th in Stavanger, so he's moved himself up overall.
A great way for him to finish this competition with a gold medal on deadlift.
Oh, how easy
absolutely
was that?
fantastic.
Superb.
Takes back deadlift gold, takes home the bronze overall.
Okay, that concludes the competition.
Absolutely outstanding results. And he made that look so easy. We should get the final results on the screen in a moment. So in the deadlift, Hjul 332.5, Silverborn with a massive 330, and Billy with 327.5. And there are your medals in the deadlift. And in the overall results, Billy comes away with the gold medal with 1,022.5. Rupert's with 1,022.5, a 1-2 finish for Ukraine. And Hjul gets himself the bronze medal overall. The work has paid off. What a way to finish with 970 kilos. Don't go too far away. We will have the medal ceremony very shortly, and we'll be back for plenty more action tomorrow with the 76 kilo women at 11 a.m. Central European time.
Here they are in all their glory. So the participation prizes are being presented today by Monsieur Xavier de Poiterac and the meet director Morten Rasmussen. Once again, these are a very special piece of artwork that has been commissioned especially for this competition. Normally it's a participation medal, but in this case it is a participation poster. Ideal to be displayed proudly in your gym, or garage, or front room, or wherever you like, really. If you made it to the Worlds in a 105 kilo class, I think you can do whatever you like. Okay, so we will now present the medals, individual lifts first, starting with squat in bronze medal position with 390 kilos from Norway. It's Asgeir Høeg. Squat silver with 400 kilos goes to Ukraine's Sergei Bilyi. And squat gold with 437.5 kilos goes to Ukraine's Alexander Rubets. Well done, gentlemen. Great job. Thank you. And now to the bench press. In bronze medal position with 280 kilos from Ukraine, it is Alexander Rubets. In silver medal position with 295 kilos from Sweden, Oliver Dahlqvist. And bench press gold, also with 295 kilos from Ukraine, is Sergei Bilyi. Well done, gentlemen. Great job, thank you. And now to deadlift. In bronze medal position with 327.5 kilos from Ukraine, it is Sergei Bilyi. Sorry we made you walk all the way back and then all the way out, but you earned a medal. Deadlift silver with 330 kilos goes to Estonia's Margus Silbaum. Deadlift gold with 332.5 kilos goes to Norway's Asgeir Høeg. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. And now for the overall and to crown the new 105 kilo open world champion. In bronze medal position with 970 kilos from Norway, Asgeir Høeg. And look at this, in silver medal position with 1,022.5 kilos from Ukraine, it is Alexander Rubets. And your new 105 kilo open world champion, also with a total of 1,022.5 kilos. There was about 17 grams in it, I think. It is Ukraine's Sergei Bilyi. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of Ukraine. Great job, gentlemen, great job. Couldn't have been closer. And a special mention to Rubets for making us all think that he wasn't going to pull more than about 150 kilos and then coming out and equaling. So, if you would rejoin your compatriots at the back of the room, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving these guys a round of applause as they follow the technical controller from the platform.